Alright, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook? We're on YouTube! Fiction Entertainment, brother! YouTube! Fiction Entertainment, brother! YouTube!
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast ever.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here?
Alright. This is sNooVa. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm great. How about everyone else out there?
The Unclean Spitter is feeling fantastic and drastic, stretching like
Talking in the
elastic
third person.
on some
Well,
whitey tighties.
In case you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ruff Lee, and I am the advocate for women's wrestling on Kayfabe Gimmicks.
There was
Thank you very
applause
much.
for this. Applause. We are going to get into some women's wrestling discussion today, actually. I do want to get into that. So, Ruff, how have you been?
Been good. Been busy.
Have you finally finished moving all of that stuff yet?
Everything's been moved. It's just a matter of unpacking, which is probably going to take the next 6 months to a year.
At least you're honest about yourself.
Hey, at least I'm honest about making sure I got my priorities in the right place, because I am using my studio setup right now, otherwise known as Royal Secret Sound, where I do all of my music. If you want to catch
Royal
me anywhere
Secret
else with
Sound.
my music.
Let's give it up.
Royal
Let's give it up
Secret Sound.
for Royal Secret Sound. Come on.
I love it. I love it. Dude, what do you call your studio, Matt?
Eviction
Does it
Record
have a name?
Studios.
It doesn't have like a super special name?
No, it doesn't. It's just Eviction Record Studios, baby. Get that name in there. Get that branding. You know
I
what I'm saying?
understand. What have you been up to, Matt?
This and that. Secretly recording music.
We got anything we can look forward to you coming out soon?
You know, I've got episode 13 of the Raw Meat Podcast is probably going to be coming out maybe in 2 months, depending.
I mean, 2 months isn't terrible. Like, it's fucking June. Or it's July now. When was the last Raw Meat podcast?
It was like a year. It was last year, Valentine's Day. Well, not on the
You
day
haven't
of
released one
February.
since Valentine's Day?
No, sir. I put out tracks, but I haven't put out a podcast. I don't put it on a schedule. It comes out when it needs to, when it has to.
Except you have a scheduled date for your next one, kind of, sort of.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm deep in it. I've already got whatever. I've got everything set.
Well,
Don't forget, sNooVa, greatness takes time.
Amen.
Greatness takes time. I understand.
Greatness takes time.
Oh, man. So, Ruff, how did your 4th of July show go?
Well, it was a 3rd of July show because the city of Kennesaw, Georgia does it a day early so they can make everyone else have to step up to the plate, and most other cities can't in the Atlanta area. There was a full debacle where the other band had an extremely long sound check. Because they're from out of town, they fly in and they rent all their stuff, all their gear got set up, and then they realized they did not have drums.
Oh, shit.
So that cut into everything, and by the time everything was all said and done, my band's 1 hour set got turned into 30 minutes. But no matter how you look at that, technical problems aside and everything else, the weather held out, the crowd had fun, the mayor was happy, and I got paid.
Well, I mean, that's the important thing is at the end of the day, right? How were the fireworks?
Fireworks were better than all of the other small towns around. You probably would have to go downtown to the middle of Centennial Park to get better fireworks than what Kennesaw put out there. So if you're anywhere on the north side, or if you're in the Atlanta area and you want to make plans for next year, it's definitely worth it. Look up KennesawJuly3.com to get your info. There's a good chance, I'm not saying it's in stone, but there is a good chance that the band I played with, the 88ers, are going to headline next July 3rd.
Nice. So, in my life, I obviously have set up a Patreon account for Kayfabe Gimmicks. This is running now on Podomatic.com. And I still drink a fuck ton of Monster. And I did a little bit of live streaming, actually, for the 4th of July. I live streamed Fallout 4's U.S. Constitutional Mission. Maybe I beat it, maybe I didn't. Maybe I got tired. We'll leave that up to if you want to sit there for 2 hours and watch it.
2 hour long, huh?
It was 2 hours of me playing through it, man, and I was right after a 12-hour shift, and I was definitely tired as hell. We were very busy for those for the whole 3rd of July and the 4th of July, because apparently the college decided they were going to shoot off fireworks on the 3rd of July as well. So we had fun both nights, though. Moving onwards, finally, guys, I guess that was the whole point, actually. I set up a Patreon. My first real goal is to get Mr. Ruff Lee here a PS4.
Nothing would make me happier than to be able to jump in to live events with you, and we can throw down. I would love to see the core of Kayfabe become a faction where we can just beat everyone with chairs and take what we want.
More importantly, he's the only asshole who doesn't have a PlayStation, so he can't play with me and Matt. And 2K18's new features got announced today, Matt. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Well, I'm here to talk to you about it. We're gonna get 8-man tag matches.
Finally!
We're gonna have 8 people in the ring in a match again. Holy shit. I think this is actually the first time ever.
It is the first time. We've always dealt with 6, all the way since PlayStation 2, since I think that goes all the way back to the 3rd game, Here Comes the Pain.
Exactly, and this means that we're going to actually be able to do a real Money in the Bank match with 8 people. You're going to be able to have 8 people in the Rumble at one time. This is exciting news.
This is a lot more like the real deal. The second that you get to 8, then you're talking business. Now, have they discussed whether it's going to be whether or not you have the option of 4 2-man teams and 2 4-man teams?
I don't know. That would be really, really cool, dude. We could actually do like the tornado tag matches. Oh man.
If we get
I
the
would
8-man
also be
tornado
happy
tag,
with
then
the,
that means that
6-man.
everything works inside, outside of the ring. We can make it no DQ if we want to. Like, we can get a full-on match like what we used to have with WCW in the real cruiserweight days, when you would have tornado 4-team tag matches.
I love it.
That was the stuff that I loved the most out of that whole era. I mean, we had the personalities, we had the characters, but when it came to in-ring action, nothing could beat the cruiserweight division of WCW.
I hear that part. So
They say they completely reworked the graphics engine.
Yeah, they're gonna finally get that dynamic lighting in there. I was reading.
I wonder if that's gonna make it buggy as fuck, though.
I hope not. Yeah. Did you ever see the video I posted? I posted a video. This has been a few years back. Me and my brother Gary were playing. Shout out to Gary. We load up the game and his character was completely black, like a shadow, like just all black.
Wow.
For the entire fucking match. Like, literally, I posted this thing to YouTube. Like, the whole match, it's just black.
Like
Black is my
completely
soul.
completely noob Saibot or what?
Yeah,
Noob
like
Saibot.
Noob Saibot. Original Noob Saibot with
Yeah.
no fucking anything on it. Just black. It was terrible.
That's
But-
crazy.
Here's where I wanted to continue this conversation, take this conversation. We don't have a roster yet, guys.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
let's
what they're
hear
gonna
some
do with
dream
rosters,
roster
man. Because
ideas. Well, who do you want to see, Matt?
who do I want to see? Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you're gonna have the current people wrestling. You're gonna have them no matter what. So that's not even a question.
Are they
I don't know,
Are
man.
you going to get Daniel Bryan?
Probably. I don't know though. You know how they are, man. I mean, think about how many games we've had out, and we've always had different rosters every time with different people. but you never had them all at once. That's what I would like to see. I want to see Legends. I want to see Attitude. I want to see WCW. I want to see ECW. I want to see all that.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Like, if you throw Dean Malenko in there, have the Iceman from WCW, and have whatever he went by in WWF, you know. Give me all Dean Malenkos. Give me all the Chris Jerichos. Give me all of the Stingers. Give me all of whatever. Big Boss Man.
I'm hoping that with their... one of those things that I feel like WWE really needs to do on these games is instead of having all 3 different versions be 3 separate character slots, it should really just be costume changes and entrance changes. It doesn't really change too much.
Oh, well,
Maybe
I have
even
to disagree there.
movesets.
I have to disagree because when you talk about people who have been around forever, like H and Taker, their stats do change.
So, like, if you got the rookie blue blood Triple H, he wouldn't be worth shit. But if you got the game, he would be boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get that, but like, so maybe.
I think they could still do that.
The most controversial thing I'm ever going to say on this podcast. Maybe 2K should throw out the stat system. At least when it comes to skill rankings.
Yeah,
I gotta
but-
have a stat system. Otherwise, you wind up with stupid things. Like, there's no reason why someone 5 foot should be choke slamming Big Show.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
agree
have
with
the
that.
stats.
Like, I don't
I'm
think
not
you should
saying
be able
you
to
don't
turn
have
that off.
stats.
I don't think you
I'm
should
not.
be able to turn that off like you have in the other games, to where you can make Rey Mysterio suplex Big Show. Like, it's just, I mean, I know it's a game or
I'm
whatever,
saying
but
that. What I am telling you, right, is that as a watcher and a fan of wrestling as we are, there is
Yeah.
no reason that Jinder Mahal's stats should make it harder for him to beat somebody like The Undertaker. Now, lifting him? Sure. But if Jinder Mahal can be your world champion right now, it's all predetermined in the sense of who is set to win and who's not set to win and things like that. So there shouldn't be a hindrance on your character just because you choose someone who's not as popular and doesn't get that big push that they're weaker, right?
yeah, I can kind of understand that. Yeah, because, like, say you like somebody, but they ain't as good as fucking Stone Cold, because he's fucking Stone Cold, and he just wipes the fucking floor with you. I get that.
Exactly, and it was a problem we ran into previously running for leagues. We've ran leagues before. We're talking about doing it again, actually. That's one of those things that I'm talking about with the Patreon and getting back into all this. But when you have characters that people love, like Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan's got the shit into the stick on ratings multiple times now.
That's the truth.
Roman Reigns gets huge pushes on these stat ratings to make him a beast against everybody else, but that doesn't mean he necessarily is. I feel like the stat system is a problem in a sense.
One of the big problems about stats is when something gets boosted, like when you do career mode, there's no way to bring it back. And of course, there's no way to win on that without having a stat system. But I want the stat system to be something that you can keep from boosting if you want to. I had a guy that was no bigger than Jeff Hardy. And, you know, Jeff Hardy, he can put a lot of body damage on himself, but there's no reason why strength has to be elevated past where a Jeff Hardy would be.
I understand. Now, Ruff, we heard from Matt. Talk to me. Who do you want to see in this game?
I'm with Matt because I really want to see all things happen. If you are going to have, if you're going to continue to say, yeah, we won the Monday Night War, then I want to see the Billy Kidmans come out. One of the things that I do want to see is I want to see mixed matches again. As far as gender.
I would love to see that. I feel like that's going to be part of the second half of this episode. Actually, I really want to get into mixed gender matches.
That's
today.
for sure. But also, there's also something else that's always bothered me about the game system. It's like part of the reason why they always avoided the mixed matches was because they don't want to see girls bleed on a game.
Well, No Mercy handled it really well. No Mercy had mixed matches on the N64. And the funny thing about it was if you went and created a mixed tag team match or a mixed Royal Rumble, First Blood, women could never bleed in No Mercy. So you could automatically win that thing because women would never bleed no matter what.
Right.
Now, I would tell you guys, there was 169 characters in the 17. Now, when 2K took over in 15, they recreated the game in a lot of ways. They took out the ability to build your own woman. Literally, that was a feature to have create a female wrestler again.
They took it out in 17?
No, they took it out in like 15.
Ah.
So it's been back since 16. Create an Arena is going to be back this year. So we look forward to seeing some Kayfabe Gimmick arenas.
For sure.
For sure. Absolutely, guys. There was 169 guys in 17. There was 3 different big shows. Including a 99 and a 2000 big show. I don't know why you needed both.
Yeah, they go overboard with that, and that just takes up another slot. I think they have enough memory on this generation of consoles to fucking have a shit ton of people.
I really am hoping that we get some pro features on it. I'll tell you that. Buddy Roberts and Bruce Beefcake were both DLC in 17.
Yeah.
You had 92 DDP, Eddie Guerrero, Greg Valentine, Jacqueline, and Ivory, all as DLC. Kerry Von Erich, some classics in there. I don't know. I kind of want Hulk Hogan back. I kind of don't want Hulk Hogan back.
You gotta have the Hulkster, brother. It doesn't matter.
No, but I don't think Hulk's going to be in this game.
He's probably not going to be in it, but I mean, like, you've got to have him. He is the god of wrestling. Everybody knows him. It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. It's like it's like Michael Jackson, right? He got accused of that shit, but it didn't matter. You couldn't touch him. Look at R. Kelly. He pissed on a bitch, an underage bitch, and it didn't matter.
Aging doesn't matter a number.
Once you're at once you're at a certain point, it just like you can almost get away with murder.
I hear you. Going through the things about 17, Goldberg better be in this motherfucking game.
He better be.
I'm so happy that Kurt Angle is going to be in this game. Shinsuke obviously is going to be in this game, and normal this time. Apparently, the final DLC characters from the WCW era were Tatanka and Psycho Sid. I love it.
Oh, there's also one other thing that I want in 18, especially if I get to jump in. I'll take Finger Poke of Doom as a finisher just to piss people off online.
Oh, that would be great.
It was in one of the previous games, I believe. Apparently, there were 5 versions of Sting, guys. There was Modern Sting, which Seth Rollins killed. There was 91 Sting and 99 Sting, which is Crow Sting. And apparently we also got via DLC the Wolfpack Sting.
Oh my
and
god.
88 Sting.
All you need is the blonde hair Stinger, the Crow Sting, and the newer Sting.
Well, actually, I like 88 and 98 more than I want to see Crow or blonde-haired 91 Sting.
Crow's the icon.
Yeah.
I know Crow's the icon, but I like the Wolfpack costume. I always like the Wolfpack costume.
Yeah, but it was the fucking Wolfpack.
There was 136 players, 149 including the alternate versions, which there were 13 alternate versions on the disc. 177 including all of the DLC and alternate versions, and 25 women. So I'm excited to see where we're going to go this year. I am excited. It's one of those things that you're definitely going to see me playing this year. I'm really excited to see where Universe Mode goes. Really excited.
For sure.
I would really love for them to revamp Universe Mode. Like, it's okay now, but I really want to be able to, like, Cause there's just certain shit you can't do. Like you can't have like a show just anywhere. Like I want to do a random show on a Wednesday or something, just in some random month.
Oh yeah, you could set that up in universe mode. Here's something really cool. The weight detection system is coming back and being redone. So you're gonna have those moments where little guys can pick up big guys through the right ways, which is awesome. I always felt like that was cool.
Yeah.
Apparently the ultimate control system from 07's coming back in some sense. I'm super excited for that. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was so fucking cool. You could pick people up, and you could pick them up in a few different ways. Turn it into multiple moves. There was a way that if you picked them up in a choke slam, you could actually carry them over to the apron and throw them out over the top of the ring.
Yeah.
You could pick them up in the power bomb and slam them down on the turnbuckle. Really cool shit. We're getting the new Elimination Chamber. I kind of like the new Elimination Chamber. I'm going to be honest. It was kind of cool. We're not getting your 4-on-4.
I never liked that match.
You didn't? You're not an Elimination Chamber fan?
I'm not. I never dug it. Bring back War Games with the 2 matches and the 1 cage.
I'm getting to that, actually. So apparently you're only going to do 4 versus 4 tag team matches. No 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 2. You will have 8-man ladder matches, 8-man battle royales, and 8 people during the Royal Rumble. There is supposed to be a lot of things that is supposed to hopefully make the game better, and apparently a system with 3 different levels that allows certain superstars to enter the Rumble with a buff. That'll be really cool.
Oh, so it's basically like a push.
Yeah, you can get a push in it. That'll be really cool. There's a lot of new features that I think are really, really exciting. I don't have exact people I want to come back. Like you guys, I would love some WCW. I'd love some ECW. Supposedly 205 is going to be in this thing. So there's going to be some 205 characters that I will actually want to play, like Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik. And we'll see what we get out of it. What I want, realistically speaking, I would love a War Games. I would. I love the double cage. I would love to play a War Games. You know what I really want to play? I would love to play a Punjabi prison match.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
We're going to have to put that in anyway, considering who the current champ.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to be champion by the time the game comes out. Wellness violation, according to Stephen Prather, right? Oh, man. But, so, I mean, those are the kinds of things I'd love. You know what I really want? I want the David Arquette cage.
Oh, man. The cage on a cage on a cage.
I love that damn thing. Whatever. I get off on these weird structures. That's why I like the Elimination Chamber so much. That's why I love Hell in a Cell.
Well, just bring back the fucking scaffold match.
The last scaffold match they had was kind of Well, it was pretty good, actually. It was Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose. Wasn't that a scaffold match? Basically?
Yeah.
I guess it had a little bit more in common with, like, the Clockwork Orange match Raven had in TNA, but it was not as cool either. I was really hoping they were going to do something like that, actually, speaking of which, this past year for Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, instead of fighting in a house.
Refresh my memory. Did I hear something about if you had a wrestler, a created wrestler online, and his name was Chris Benoit, that it got deleted in the last one?
Yeah, they were fucking going after it.
That definitely did go down. That definitely went on. Oh, man. And this is our lives and what we get in wrestling video games. We got a lot of nice features, and then we get a lot of features that fade away and disappear and get reintroduced as amazing new things over and over again for some god-awful reason, even though we've previously had them. It bothers me. It bothers me. So we're going to move on to something I love. Me and Ruff were watching some Chikara today.
Yes, my first time watching any Chikara.
What did you think?
It was really good. I mean, other than it's really strange that, their arena is 3 sides of 4 rows of seats. Small, but
Well,
The matches are top shelf.
That is the warehouse, the Wrestle Factory.
I'm not going to say top shelf. Honestly, I'm not going to say top shelf. Because honestly, the matches that I've seen on Lucha are cleaner, but these were still very good matches. They're good matches. Not great, but good matches.
Well, so a little bit of backstory on Chikara, or as known as Chikara Pro. You got to remember, it was founded in 2002. Quackenbush and Reckless Youth as trainers and in-ring performers. Now, the thing about Chikara is a training facility in a lot of ways, too. Now, it's based off Lucha Libre and at least influenced by it heavily. But it's not necessarily, it's not what you're going to find in Ring of Honor necessarily. You're going to see people really grow and come somewhere in Chikara. A lot of people train there, you know what I mean?
Understood.
So it's a really interesting way to get their levels up. They work on everything there. Obviously, you see they do promos and things like that. And a lot of people go all the way from Chikara to everything else you see. I mean, you think about the people who have been in Chikara, quite a few have ended up working for the WWE over the years.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them have ended up working for WWE. I mean, Cesaro showed up in Chikara. You had Bryan Danielson. You've had Sean Waltman show up.
Oh.
Two Cold Scorpio showed up. Cedric Alexander used to work for them. Amazing Red worked
Any
for
of them
Chikara.
run into the now defunct TNA?
The list goes on and on, from Austin Aries to Tyler Bate to Maria.
I'm allowed to
Marty
say now
Jannetty.
defunct because
all of these people have shown
GFW.
up in Chikara. So Chikara has a long and storied history. All right, Matt? Does that make sense? And that's basically, I mean, shit, Ian Rotten even showed up there. As you got to see, because we watched the Johnny Kidd Invitational, Zack Sabre Jr. has been working there.
Yeah.
Matt Sydal even worked there. You remember who Matt Sydal is, don't you?
I'm trying to remember.
That's Evan Bourne in the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Tatanka's been there. AJ Styles has been there. Kevin Steen's been there. One Man Gang was even there at one point.
Wow.
Over the course of all of these years, a bunch of famous people have been to Chikara and helped Chikara and worked with Chikara and done fun things with Chikara. And Chikara is very interesting of a promotion. They run a few special things every year. They have the Young Lions Cup. They have the Torneo Cybernetico, which is a fabulous match to watch. Almost as cool as the Royal Rumble. Maybe cooler in some ways. They have the King of Trios tournament, which is it's the most important 3-man tournament you'll ever see.
Okay.
Because who else does a triple team tournament? Who else?
That's true.
And the Young Lions Cup is where they build their people up. So the King of Trios is a 3-night tournament where you get a bunch of trios that compete in 6-man tag matches to see who's the best 3-man trio. And you have the Young Lions Cup. It is a tournament for basically the younger people.
Okay.
So once you hit a certain age, you can actually get the cup, defend the cup as a title, and once you win it, you can never go get it again. But so they have a lot of little things, and as you got to see, you actually got to see the current champion lose a match and win a match during the Johnny Kidd Invitational. Now, the current champion for Chikara is Juan Francisco de Coronado.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that's
He
what it
was the champion. And this was the important thing, that, okay? When you saw him lose the final match, he did. He lost the chance to keep Rory Gulak from winning 3 coins. Now, what the coins mean in Chikara is if you can win matches, you get the coins. When you get the coins, you need 3 of them to cash in on the championship.
So in other words, it's build your own briefcase.
Build your own briefcase. I feel like that is a way to describe it. That is a way to describe it. And it's one of those fun little things, man. Chikara has had a hell of a history. Just in the past year, they actually released a secret title, or a secret season. They did a whole time skip of a year. And then made you go back and watch what happened over the course of the year to see how the title had changed.
That's crazy.
Tell me that's not amazing.
That's revolutionary. That's very much like...
I've watched, I watched like a little bit. It came on Netflix, right?
Your timeline, and you threw it fast forward pretty much the same
Right,
way
don't they
that
have like a
comic books
season
do.
on Netflix?
Wait. I didn't see it on Netflix. Was it on Netflix at one point?
Is it the one? No, that's never
Never
mind.
that
That's
I
Lucha
heard.
Underground.
Yeah, Lucha's on there now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, cool things. I like Chikara. When you watched today, you got to see, we watched the semifinals, and you got to see Rory Gulak defeat Zack Sabre Jr. Tell me how you felt about that.
First things first, I love an audience that appreciates good technical wrestling. And you saw plenty of that on what I watched today. You saw a lot of technical moves, and you saw the crowd genuinely respect the craft that goes into the dance. You can play heel and you can play face all you want to, but you know, it's rare that you get to see this level of crowd digging the technical aspect. And I honestly think that a lot of maybe they're trying to do it with 205 and the cruiserweights, but I feel like WWE is really missing out on the fact that there are fans that really enjoy technical wrestling.
I definitely see where you're coming from. And moving on past the Rory Gulak versus Zack Sabre Jr. match, I feel like Matt Riddle's one of the most interesting wrestlers you'll see nowadays.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that guy go somewhere after watching the Johnny Kidd Invitation.
Yeah.
Like,
and Sabre,
I want you to picture
Sabre
this
was toe to toe with Gulak.
Sabre is a very interesting case. He's so gangly and so tall, but he's so skinny at the same time, and he's such a technical wrestler. He's the strangest thing to watch, and I learned that when I saw him on the Cruiserweight special last year on the WWE. But I want you to picture this, Matt, right now. Matt Riddle is probably about 6'5", doesn't wear shoes, just wears his MMA trunks, and is a wrestler. 250 pounds.
Crazy.
Huge ass man. And like watching Juan Francisco de Coronado pick him up, and the way that he flows through Matt flows through some of his moves, I loved it.
Yeah.
I had the time of my life watching this whole thing.
You know, it's honest because of his size and his stature and his moveset. If you really wanted to take Sabre back to him, if you really wanted to take Sabre and develop him a certain way, he could come across very much, sorry for the analogy, I can't think of anyone else, like the Thin Man from the Charlie's Angels movies. I know that sounds really strange, but it's like you need someone really thin who's agile, who also happens to be gangly, who could be technical to be that kind of a fighter. If you wanted to turn that into someone,
I would love to see Zack Sabre be heel.
Yeah, if you take Sabre,
He'd be a creepy ass heel.
Take Sabre, give him a villain mustache and a suit. I think that could be really, really surprising.
Like a stash you can twirl up.
I could see that. I like him. Actually, if you guys get a chance, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Cody Rhodes on the What Pro Wrestling show a few months back. It was live on YouTube for absolutely free. It was a free pay-per-view. It was right after New Japan, actually. It was right after Cody debuted at New Japan.
Oh, this is something that we didn't get to talk
Literally
about.
flowed.
This is something we didn't get to talk
Right
about
there.
last podcast at all. I think that Cody's hit list was one of the coolest ideas because he turned that into its own kind of Twitter sensation while he ran it.
Oh yeah, dude. And
Was Saber on that list?
Really, no, he wasn't. But like I said, he ended up fighting Saber at What Culture Pro Wrestling, the WCPW, and that was earlier this year. It was right after he debuted at NJPW, the Grand Prix.
I'm sure that's got to be amazing. I'm gonna have to hunt that down.
It's a fun match, dude. I was not expecting to get to watch it. It was at Kirby Mania. It was very enjoyable. They went on for 25 minutes. And after it all, Cody was just like, hey, somebody buy me a beer. Because it had been literally like, oh my god. Yeah, it was fun, though. It was really good, dude. And it was right after that whole NJPW, oh man. You know what I'm talking about? The Grand 1. The Okada match. The first Okada match. So literally, Cody flew straight to Britain, I guess, and did the fucking What Culture Pro Wrestling. He's gone over and above and done everything he could lately, and it's amazing. Cody Rhodes has come a long way, as we were talking about last time.
Yeah. Amazing, surprising. Something that was completely out of left field. When he left, like for most people, they would kind of fall into the background. If anything, leaving made his star power rise.
Seriously. He had 2 clinics with Kurt Angle and What Culture Pro Wrestling also. Well worth watching.
I'm sure it is.
And like, who the hell saw these things coming?
Right.
Who saw any of what Cody Rhodes has done coming?
The hit list was genius.
Ring of Honor champion.
Honestly, creative from WWE wish they could have come out with something nearly as cool as the hit list. Making the list wasn't as cool as based on the hit list.
Well, moving on, I do want to finish this up. Let us talk about what I thought was the standout of the Johnny Kidd Invitational 2017. It was not one of the actual invitational matches to be crowned the winner of the tournament, but it was Mike Moretti versus Jessica Troy.
How amazing.
How did you feel about it,
How
Ruff?
amazing. How amazing. Moretti is honestly about the size of a Sandow. And you have this little tiny thing that is no bigger than a Bailey going full on with a match. I didn't think that some of the cells in the storytelling were as good as they could have been from her, but of course this is something that you just kind of got to run with it when you've got an opportunity to do a match like this. But she had a great head scissors, tilt-a-whirl takedown on him that was, you would absolutely believe out of her. It was good selling on his end, but the fact that she had move for move going back and forth when she's obviously outsized and didn't have a chance of trying to outmuscle him with anything. And, it went all the way to the wire. I thought it was a great match.
Well, I mean, it was a story of trainer versus trainee, and where are we now? And I love that about it. And I love that Chikara allows women to fight men and doesn't really hold any bars on it. It's one of those things that Lucha Underground has done since then also. And Lucha Underground has also made a female champion. I don't know which one did first, but technically Chikara and Lucha Underground both have had female grand champions now.
That's amazing.
Which is really cool.
Anyway.
It's cool as hell. And now Ruby Riott is actually, she moved up from Chikara. Ruby Riot's in NXT right now, as is Kimberly. Kimberly is actually going to be known as Abby Lath in the Mae Young Classic coming up. We're going to do an episode about that. I'm telling you guys, we're doing an episode about it.
You better believe
Ruby
I'm going to
Riott
be
was
watching
known-
every single second of the Mae Young Classic.
Ruby Riott was known as Heidi Lovelace in NXT, or in Chikara. Now she's Ruby Riott. And these women have come so far and been able to fight men, and here they are now in the WWE, and it scares me what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
It scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, Heidi Lovelace fought fucking Hollow Wicked at a Chikara pay-per-view. And what on earth is going to happen to her now that she's in WWE? She's just going to be involved in shitty storylines, I fear.
You know, that's always the fear. I mean, so far, for the most part, they have handled a lot of things really well. Everything all red notwithstanding.
Well, you say that, but the Emelina thing was also a train wreck just waiting to happen.
It was.
You want to talk... Matt, you weren't here for us with this, man, but we haven't talked about this, but we want to talk about the worst debut that ever happened? Emelina. She came out, she waved her hand, she's like, "Hey guys, I'm Emelina. And now, just wait till I come back as Emma." And then she walked out. Yeah, dude, that's what happened, dude.
It was...
When was this?
A few months ago. It was before WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as well. No, it's honestly worse than when Dusty Rhodes nearly premiered as Seven in WCW. It was that kind of thing.
Oh shit! I remember that.
I feel
I
like
remember
Seven
that.
was a cooler gimmick, actually.
Me too.
The thing is, literally, she came out as Emelina, and she's like, "You watched the evolution of Emma into Emelina, and now you're going to get to watch the evolution of Emelina into Emma." And then she just left. She just fucking left, and she came back as Policewoman Emma. Which, shout out to Dane. I know you love Policewoman Emma. It's sexy. It's cool. It's a good gimmick, don't get me wrong. But the whole, why did they waste their time with the Emelina thing then? Why? And now...
I don't know. It could have worked
It's
if
okay,
they
we're
I
expecting
feel
played
like
it
they
right.
didn't have any faith in
We're
her.
expected to forget it anyway now that we have Alana, so...
Well, Lana is basically doing the Emelina gimmick, supposedly.
Which is the same as the Everything All Red gimmick.
Exactly. I don't know. So, here we are, and this is where we've come around. And, like I said, we have two powerful women from Chikara in the WWE now, and I hope them the best of luck, and I hope they can only have the quality of matches they had with Chikara.
One quick question back to the idea of the game. Is Awesome Kong with GFW?
I don't know if Awesome Kong is currently signed at all.
Because if she's not, I want Karma in 2K18. I don't want to have to create her. I just want her to be there.
I feel like you're probably gonna have to create her to get her. She was actually back in TNA at one point.
Yeah, she left after she got released. She went back to TNA.
And I guess she's not really doing anything right now. She's just working on Glow, which, shout out to Netflix. Go watch Glow.
Absolutely.
Have you guys sat through Glow
I
yet?
haven't all the way yet, but I'm going to get myself through it.
I haven't. I put it on my list.
You guys need to go pop that out. It is great. But so today is the 5th of July. I'm going to be posting this up pretty soon. Next weekend, I think, is that Women's Invitational Tournament. We'll be getting our next podcast out shortly after that, or right before it probably, and then one afterwards to talk about it.
One other shout out.
But I just want to thank you guys for showing up.
One other
What's
real
up?
quick shout out is the fact that tonight, July 5th, on the WWE Network, it's going to be episode number 400 of NXT. So whether or not they decide to give it any kind of props is anyone's guess. But that makes you realize that if the show is able to hold up for another 2 years, we're going to see 500 episodes of NXT. That says something in itself
Well, you got
for developmental.
no.
Yes, it
That's
does.
not how that works. No, it doesn't. You know why? Do you know what's included in those 400 episodes?
The Caitlyn AJ love
NXT
tiles.
seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
The soap opera.
You got to remember all of the bad stuff is included in those 400 episodes.
Okay, are you going to tell me that?
So I don't know how I feel
Are you
about
going to tell
that.
me that Raw always had good years?
No, I'm not going to tell you that lie.
Okay,
I just
then they got 2 years before they
But-
hit 500, and there's something to be said for any show having longevity.
I mean, I understand that. I just feel like it's an entirely different show than, and I'm not even talking about like the Caitlyn AJ stuff. I'm talking about like before that when it was a game show.
That's for sure.
You got to remember the first 3 seasons were a game show. Like, it's kind of weird that like you're counting that as 400 episodes.
Wait.
It's an entirely different thing by now.
Everyone cooks the books.
And you had that whole season. They do, but you know, let's finish this up real quick. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a whole season of NXT where about halfway through they were just like, fuck it, we're not crowning a winner. And then they just started the stupid storylines. And that's when not Cody Rhodes, but his partner in Legacy, Ted DiBiase Jr. went back to NXT. And it was just sheer ridiculousness. Shout out to Ted DiBiase Jr.
That's bad when you go back.
I miss him.
You know, somebody's got to take one for the team.
I don't know how can NXT last?
How can it continue from here?
Because doesn't everybody who's there potentially whatever go to WWE?
Technically?
So like they're not going to keep pumping in people into the WWE. They barely.
There's so many
fucking
people
give
who
a fuck
only
about
have
the people
5-year
there.
careers in WWE. You can always wind up borrowing new talent, which means there's always a need to develop new talent.
Yeah, but how long does a season of NXT
Well, they don't do
last?
seasons anymore. They stopped all that.
See, I mean, like, how long is the longest time that a wrestler would spend in
Oh,
NXT?
well, that's a simple question, actually. The Asuka's been there forever now, right? That's what we really got out of this. Asuka's been there forever in the little leagues.
And so what? He's holding it down, and he's not gone up
She
yet.
still hasn't
Got the
gotten
call.
Yeah, she has literally been there for what? Well, she just broke CM Punk's record, so 480 days of being the champion.
And she's
Yeah,
good,
she
and
has
people like her.
been established in the indies for years now.
Well, they're just keeping her around because she's what is everybody's watching.
I mean, no, like we told you, you got 2 great women from Chikara. You've got all.
Well, I mean,
these
I
people
know,
who are there
I know,
now.
but like she's the man. Though.
She's
She's got
about
the belt,
to go.
right?
Yeah.
You watch. She's about to go because she just tweeted a picture from the beach and says, "I'll come back to NXT when you can find me a worthy opponent." So either someone who's a monster is going to debut, or they're going to send someone over and say, "You think you're tough enough? Come over and beat me over on one of the main shows."
I mean, I just don't know how I feel about that either.
I like her on NXT, and I
I
don't
don't
see
know.
any reason to bring her up, but there's nothing left for her to do there.
No, and there's enough talented women there still right now that it's not as big of a deal as it was when you left Bailey. When you left Bailey, you didn't have a lot of women
Right.
there that could do things.
Now you do.
But now you do. Exactly.
Maybe with these new...
And you've had them for a minute.
Maybe with these Chikara inductees, these newcomers from Chikara, maybe we'll see someone who will be a legitimate threat. Because it's going to make a storyline exciting if someone shows up out of nowhere and has her number.
Yeah, but they've been there for a while now. So maybe it's gonna come down to somebody out of the women's tournament. I don't know. It's a weird thing they're doing.
That's a serious possibility too. The Mae Young Classic, I'm sure, is to boost some people that we haven't seen.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. It's just this strange thing now. And the longest person in NXT right now is probably Asuka. She's been working there the longest.
I think so.
Oh, no, I take it back. Buddy Murphy's still there. Buddy Murphy is still in NXT.
And on that note...
Oh my god.
On that note...
Buddy Murphy and Blake are still there? Really? I didn't even think about that, but I guess... Well, yeah, Murphy and Blake are still there, dude.
That's crazy.
It's 4 years later. They're still in NXT. They won the NXT tag team titles. And still never made it to the main roster.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the thing about it. The name NXT Next is who's next. You know? It's kind of pigeonholed into being that.
I mean, you feel like these people would move up.
I don't know. I like when they do the offshoots, like the Cruiserweight Classic, you know, just
I do too.
Pay some fucking wrestlers to go do this fucking one shot.
And it's been a lot of fun.
And put on a good show.
It has been a lot of fun. You know what? I know who's been there the longest. I'm wrong. Nope. I thought Atami was there the longest because Atami's still in NXT too. But Atami's main reason why he ended up still in NXT is because he got wounded. He got wounded, so I guess Blake and Murphy might be the longest people in NXT history who didn't get fired. Ain't that some shit?
I don't know. It's always weird to me when they bring in somebody. Like, when they brought in Samoa Joe.
And Joe was in NXT for like
I
a
just
year
felt
and a half.
like
2 years?
Yeah, I felt like, why is he even in there? Like, he's
Why is Bobby Roode and Eric Young in NXT right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I mean, seriously,
like,
Eric Young is 37. Bobby Roode is 40. And they're in NXT.
Like, however you feel about these dudes, they put in the work. They've paid their dues. They've been on TV. I know it was TNA or whatever, but...
No, but I mean, still.
Putting them on Next, it wasn't like they was just on an indie circuit and, you know, had that underground fan base. Like, they, you know, were well known. They were next. Samoa Joe. Motherfuckers know his name. Like, if he would have came out on Raw, people would have known.
Exactly. I mean, shit, dude, you can do it with Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. Why can't you do it with a guy like Samoa Joe? Why is Drew Galloway back in NXT as Drew McIntyre? That's the thing. That's a fucking thing. And Galloway went off and had great fucking matches in TNA and all across the fucking world. And here we are. And this is the sad state of affairs. And this has been Kayfabe Gimmicks. Find us on Facebook. Because I don't know how else to end this at this point. It kind of got depressing.
Oh,
so
shit.
bad. I mean, how else am I supposed to feel about NXT?
Well,
it's depressing to think about this shit.
It is depressing because, like, WWE is the sore winners. Like, they beat WCW, and they're
beating NJPW and everybody. They're beating Ring of Honor every time they sign these people. Ruff was just talking about this, I think, the other week.
Well, it's like they won, but they act like they lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're sore winners instead of sore losers. And I just don't get it. Like, you've got that catalog of, I mean, everything. AWA, like, everything. And they don't treat it with the dignity that they do, like, their old shit. Like, fucking Saturday night main event.
You're right. You're right. And it's just this thing, like, all of these people have been signed and tossed into NXT to keep them off the circuits. That's the reality of the world we live in.
I don't know. We're just fans.
And
that's the way we are.
I hear that. Well, it has been a fabulous episode of Kayfabe Gimmicks. And I just want to say goodnight. I don't know how else to end it. It kind of got depressing there, like I said.
Well, we're just going to end it all depressed and melancholy.
Well, that means I get to run Kayfabe Gimmicks then.
With the hot water running.
That means the fucking show is
mine.
One
person's not depressed. Well, but, I mean, Ruff, do you have any final thoughts on this? You were just talking to me about this the other week. Like, what the fuck, man? WWE has signed everybody, and now they're doing nothing with them.
It's okay. I mean, I don't have to explain it. I don't have to understand it. All I know is that in their minds, they've got a plan. And if they want to keep people shelved just so that they can promote the product they want to, I got to hope that they're going to put out one amazing product that I'm just going to love. I mean, we can talk about that whole thing. That we can talk all the way, till next year about the whole thing that, you've got a roster of 60 and maybe 20 actually get to do ring work every single week. But, in the end, the product is what the product is.
I understand.
I mean, record labels do that shit.
To shelve them.
Record labels will sign somebody and shelve their ass, and you'll be like, hey, whatever happened to that person? They just went away. It's because their fucking contracts are fucked up because the record company is
That's right. They want the product they have to be the one that people pay attention to, and that is their prerogative. And if people sign that just on the hope that they're going to get the push, then that's how they're rolling the dice. I mean, Cody Rhodes got out of it and it's worked out fine for him. So there's plenty of room to work if you want to be working, if you want to be active, if you want to make a name for yourself. I mean, you can act like WWE is the brass ring just as much as people who are independent musicians can say being on a label is the brass ring. But, we all know that that's not necessarily the case. So it's a matter of if you want their contract or if you want to be the one in charge of what's happening with your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, think about it. If you was a wrestler and WWE came up to you like, yo, we want to fuck with you, we're going to sign you and all this, like, you got to think right there. Am I going to sign this and they're going to fuck me up? Or am I going to sign this and they're going to actually do something with me? And that's a hard choice because that's the fucking WWE, regardless of how good or how bad you think they are.
There isn't a single pro wrestler out there that doesn't dream of having a WrestleMania match.
No, I know. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, there's a strong group of people that cherish NXT and talk all this amazing things about it. And don't get me wrong, NXT's had its moments. It's had great things. It's done good things, and it's helped certain people get over and get somewhere. But there's so many that have just been lost in the crosshairs by now.
That's for sure.
And, it goes back to this thing that we talked about last year that we never got to talk about on Kayfabe Gimmicks. But if you think about it realistically and honestly with yourself, it doesn't matter that Seth Rollins also killed Finn Balor's career. Finn Balor would not have held the title till WrestleMania. Goldberg still would have gotten the title. It didn't matter that it was Kevin Steen. It doesn't matter that it's goddamn Finn Balor. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the WWE is going to do what they feel draws them the most money, and a part-timer versus a part-timer they felt was a bigger draw than either one of those men.
That's for sure.
Well, all right, here's the silver lining to end it on a good note, right? All that bullshit about WWE. But look, you got New Japan. You got
Chikara.
Lucha. You got Chikara. You got all of these, though, that have a fan base. That, you know what? I don't like what they're doing on Raw or SmackDown. Flip it over. New Japan's got fucking awesome.
Yeah, they've been shown
wrestling
on Access TV if you get it. I don't.
I mean,
Who knows?
they're fucking great.
Who honestly knows?
You've got all these other things.
Where GFW may be in a year. They may turn around and do something absolutely amazing. Now, I'm not holding my breath for it, but there's no one who can tell me that it couldn't happen.
I hear you.
Yeah, you never know.
If you're lucky, you can watch Ring of Honor.
The future of wrestling is wide open.
It is on in Canada. There are certain places in Florida that showed, even apparently Tampa, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Georgia. You can actually see it, Ring of Honor in Georgia and Atlanta. You can watch it on Saturdays on WATL at 3 p.m. and 11 p.m. See, did you know that one, Ruff?
You know, I had heard about that. Actually, they do a lot of events here in Atlanta itself. I was thinking that I need to get to one of those next time it comes through.
It's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, go catch a house show, man. I go and watch Smoky Mountain when they come around here. They come around here a lot at the Civic Center in Kingsport. And, you know, it's a great show. Last time I went, a dude got hit with a computer keyboard and
that's awesome.
One of the letters came at me and hit me. You know, it's great. It's great.
Shout out to Tony Gibbons. Apparently, that guy hit in the head. Oh, man. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Chikaratopia, you can get a Chikaratopia subscription for $7.99 a month. That's better than $9.99 WWE. And Chikaratopia has what?
$9.99.
Hours upon hours of everything. 17, 18 seasons of Chikara are out on there now.
18 seasons.
Let's be realistic. 18 seasons. Like, holy shit. And storylines that actually cross across all 18 seasons. The WWE didn't even properly pull that off.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are alternatives, and you should broach your alternatives and see your alternatives as well as you can. I mean, I understand it's not easy to see some of this stuff. New Japan, again, shit, Lucha Underground, without freaking Netflix now, there was no way to watch Lucha Underground if you didn't have the El Rey network or you pirated it. And I don't want to pirate these things. Does that make sense?
Nah, those dudes need the money.
Like, I just don't want to pirate these things. I don't feel like that's right.
You really need to be supporting the things that you love. If you love it, then you should be supporting it in all ways.
I know, like, you see these marks, and I'm going to call them marks. They're like, man, Lucha Underground's where it's at. But it's like, but you're not, like, watching Lucha Underground through any right means to be able to support these people for something you love. So what's the point?
But if that's the only way you can get it, if you can only get it bootleg, because that's the only way.
Dude, we're talking about you can have a monthly membership for Chikara for less than it costs to go to Starbucks twice. There's no reason why people can't go and support it if they love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's ways and means to do that.
Well,
but
okay, then let's
like a lot of them do that now through their websites, which is great.
Let's say you're right. Lucha only was on the El Rey network. The only way I can watch it is I am going to pirate it. Well, then I need to at least boost its social media presence or something, right?
Buy some t-shirts.
Like, there's got to do something.
Buy some merch.
There's always
because look, entertainment's having a hard time with the shit like that. Like, bands make money off of touring and merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
The movie industry is having a fit. That's why you see all these pop up on Netflix. Like, you'll see a whole season pop up on Netflix. Because they know people are sitting there paying for Netflix. And they'll watch the whole season. Like, binge watch it. Instead of sit there paying their cable bill. And so on.
You know what? Apparently, you can get a NJPW subscription for $9.99 a month too nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of them just do it through their website now, which is it's fine. That's great.
No, I mean I'm great with it, but here's the thing, man. Support these things. Don't just be like, "Hey, guys, there's alternatives to the WWE," and then torrent it. Watch it on a streaming site. Pay for the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. Pay for the NJPW pay-per-views. If that's what you want to see and you love this kind of wrestling so much, go do it. Support your product. Support the people you love. Go buy their t-shirts,
That's how they're-
please.
How much?
That's how they're gonna get going, man. Is you supporting them through that way. That's how they're gonna get bigger and better. And
I'm not just going
be
to
more
preach to the
well-known
choir
and
here.
so
I'm going to
on.
make sure that other people who get to hear this podcast understand this loud and clear. Think about how much new music you have discovered on YouTube, because there is more out there than just what commercial radio and iHeart wants to give you. How many other shows have we found through Netflix that never have been broadcast on network television, because there's more than that? If you love pro wrestling, don't wait for Vince McMahon and Triple H to show you who's good. Go out, find other promotions, find other companies, find other matches, and go see what's out there and find what you love. Come back to Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook. Let us know what you find, because if there's stuff that we haven't seen, we want to know about all the cool stuff too. So come and find us and tell us what you love.
Speaking of which, closing moments, closing thoughts, for real. Now we got to wrap this up. I got two things, guys, right? One, we got a pay-per-view this Sunday, and there's going to be a scorecard. And who's going to beat Brandon Bam Bam Corleone is the question.
I'm taking back that damn
I'm
belt.
thinking it's going to be me. Fuck you, I'm going to be a 3-time kayfabe champion at the end of this Sunday.
Not if I win it
When I
twice.
win- You son of a bitch. Secondly, finally, most importantly, I don't hate the WWE. I actually hate the people who talk shit about the WWE more than I hate the WWE. I understand why they're locking them down. I kind of got to give them points for it. I do. Don't get me wrong, as negative as NXT is in some weird way, it's a positive for them as a company.
well, yeah, I mean it's business. Like if I wanted somebody shut down, I would do what.
Think of it
I
this
could.
way. Think of
And
it
I
this
don't
way.
shut
It
'em
could
down.
be, it could be that we are still in the dark ages where all we get are dark matches and house shows. Instead, they've turned this into one of the reasons why we subscribe to the network.
Exactly. And you know what? If they're going to fuck over Finn Balor or Kevin Owens just to do Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, power to them. Power to them. They know what draws. They know what gets them money. If 3 million people watch Raw and no, not even 2 million are subscribed to the network, there's a disparity.
And the 2 million people are actually getting some great moments out of it, because until within the last month, we were still in this thing where we had talented women wrestlers, but we never had a match like Bayley versus Sasha the way that it was on NXT.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And, you know, that was one of those funny things. Something that worked so well in NXT, they try to recreate it on Raw and failed.
Very much so.
And that was the point. They tried to recreate it. WWE is not perfect. WWE makes a lot of shitty choices, but they are not here for your feelings. They're not here because you're a Steen Mark. They're not here because you want to see Generico go flippy floppy in the ring, because that's what you love about him. They're not here because you loved WCW in 1997. They're not here to recreate that magic. They're here to tell a story that they want to tell and draw in people and make money the way they know works. And Triple H is never going to be the savior. He's going to literally be the guy who continues in the same path because it works. And that's why WWE survived. That's why it won the Monday Night Wars. That's why it's able to sign these people and screw over all these other smaller companies.
If Triple H didn't have the same mindset as Vincent Kennedy McMahon, do you think that Triple H would be in the seat where he is? There's no chance in hell that would have happened. See what I did there?
I agree.
I love it. I love it.
Amen.
I love the WWE still at the end of the day. They are a company that excels in a lot of ways. And, you know, it's 10 years after the Benoit incident this year. And there were some articles about it. And it's one of those things that the Benoit incident really fucked up the WWE's ability to grow as a company. However, they have maintained their presence and kept strong and still been able to shut down any competitors.
Wrestling is like football. People get fucked up when they do it, but they know they're getting fucked up when they do it, and they choose to do it. And people like to watch it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's true too. WWE has made it about as safe as possible, and that's where we are now. And I look forward.
Look, Jeff Hardy wants to jump off of some shit and fall. He wants to do that. Let him go get paid and do that. And let people pay to watch it.
I will end this on a super positive note. Supposedly the Hardys are going to get broken.
I heard that too. This is real exciting.
I think it's the best news I've heard all week. The fact that WWE is going to be able to do something besides push them as that aging old tag team that nobody wants to see anymore is cool. It's good. It's exciting. We're going to get to see something besides what we've already seen. Well, that's not true either, was it? Remember when Matt Hardy killed Jeff Hardy's dog and burned his house down? That happened before Broken. Sorry, Brother Nero. I'm sNooVa.
Matt Hardy is the illest.
Matt Hardy sucks.
Oh, he's the illest. He's great. You gotta love him. I mean,
really has turned everything
man.
around with Broken, don't get me wrong. But like regular Matt Hardy, I still like, I don't care. Go away, Matt
You didn't
Hardy.
like version 1?
I know. Version 2 is obviously my thing,
Obviously.
dude. When he was tag teaming with Animal, or was it Hawk? I think he was tag teaming with Hawk as version 2.
I think so.
That actually happened. This has been Kayfabe Gimmicks. I'm sNooVa.
I'm Ruff Lee.
And I'm the Unclean Spitter.
Season 3, back in business, bitches.
Peace out.
Woo!
Woo!